Coming up on today's show, is there already pressure on Sam Darnold entering 2025? We will discuss that and more as things are already getting very interesting for the new Seahawks quarterback coming up on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones, your fearless leader, here with you. Thanks for joining us, folks. Let's show some love for QB1, the new sheriff in town. Who knows? He may be watching. Somebody close to him may be watching. What tends to happen when we get new players here with the Seahawks, folks, is that people that are close to them usually want to see what the media has to say as they join a new team. And so I want to make our voices heard loud and clear that we're rooting for Sam Darnold, that he's got our support, and that we want to see him succeed. Hit that like button. We certainly would appreciate it. And we'll get started with this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. Sam Darnold, already under pressure entering 2025. The new QB1 in Seattle comes over from the Minnesota Vikings, and there's already a lot of tension on him as he takes on this new challenge to head up this Seahawks offense under new offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak. And according to ProFootballTalk's Mike Florio, before he's ever even taken a single snap in a Seahawks uniform, Darnold is already on the hot seat as Seattle's starting quarterback. Florio says this: he has a one-year deal as a practical matter, and the Seahawks seem to really like rookie Jalen Milroe. Darnold will need to play very well to secure his status for 2026. Now, I'll say this, that's a strong take from Florio right out of the gates before he's even played a game for the Seahawks to say that he's on the hot seat. And I know that catches our eye and our attention. It sounds crazy, but the truth of the matter is Florio's actually not wrong about that. Sam Darnold is on the hot seat entering this year because there is a great unknown about Sam Darnold. You heard Florio mention the contract situation. We'll kind of explain further details coming up in just a moment. But the big question about Darnold entering 2025 is consistency. What version are the Seahawks getting out of Sam Darnold? So far in his young career, we've seen the good and we've seen the bad. And even in 2024 with the Minnesota Vikings, when he had the best season of his career, we still saw the good and the not so good, including at the very end of the season in the final two games against the Detroit Lions and the Los Angeles Rams. You look at the statistics of what Sam Darnold did in the first 16 games of last season. He was outstanding. A completion percentage of 68%, over 4,100 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions, and the Vikings won a lot of games, folks. But then things came crashing down for Sam Darnold in Minnesota at the end of 2024 as he struggled in that game against the Lions, and then followed that up with an abysmal performance against the Los Angeles Rams in the wild card round where he was sacked 9 times. And in those two losses, in two of the biggest games of the entire season for the Minnesota Vikings, his completion percentage was barely above 53%, only threw for 411 yards, just 1 touchdown and 1 interception. So then the question becomes, for the Seattle Seahawks, will the real Sam Darnold stand up? Can Sam Darnold be the version that we saw for most of last season as the leader of this offense? Or are the Seahawks getting the guy that we saw at the end of last season and for most of his career? That is a question that we don't know the answer to just yet. Let's ask you all, do you believe in Sam Darnold? You got 2 options here. Type B for believe, D for don't. This is our pinned comment today. Weigh in, let us know if you think the Seahawks signal caller is going to get the job done. Folks, want to make sure that you are subscribed to Seattle Seahawks Today for the latest happenings on your favorite team each and every day with our daily news and rumors, sometimes 2 and 3 videos a day. Live shows 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, including our Madden Sim season. We're bringing you breaking news, Q&A mailbags, more Seahawks content than ever before right here on Seahawks Today. I want to get at least 20 subs off today's video. If you're a diehard, you got to be subscribed. Best part about it, doesn't cost you a thing. 100% free. YouTube.com/SeahawksTV to subscribe now. You'll be glad you did. Now, one thing to Sam Darnold's credit, when talking about how things ended with the Minnesota Vikings last year, he is very self-aware of how lackluster he played and how bad the Minnesota Vikings looked at the end of 2024. And Darnold, he was asked about this recently. All right, what happened, Sam? What are you going to do about it going forward from here? And this is what he had to say. For lack of a better term, we laid an egg on as an offense. And I think for me personally, that sucks. I felt like we were a really good team, but at the end of the day, and this is going to sound a little pessimistic, but when you get to the end of it and you don't win the whole thing, you failed. I feel like I could have played way better, to be completely honest with you. I feel I didn't play up to my standard. I truly feel that way. I feel like I would have just played better. I would have been able to give the team a chance. So then the question becomes, is Sam Darnold a one-hit wonder? Was last year what we saw in the first 17 weeks of the season something that everything just went right and then the real Sam Darnold got exposed? Or were the final two games where he struggled and the Vikings did not play well an anomaly? We don't know the answer to that question just yet, although I'm optimistic that Sam Darnold is going to play very well for Seattle in 2025. Now, I'll say this. When you look at Sam Darnold and the adversity that he's faced throughout his career, he's bounced back before. He has had his struggles with the Jets, the Panthers, got demoted to being a backup and having to go to the San Francisco 49ers. And he came out of it better, stronger. And there's a great saying. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. And Sam Darnold has already been through this before, where he reacted well to adversity of coming back and embracing the struggle and getting through it. It's just 2 games. Was it 2 costly games on a big stage? Of course it was. But what's he going to do next? Can he overcome this again? We shall see. Darnold, a Pro Bowler last season in 2024, was also named the most improved player by the Pro Football Writers Association in 2024. And when you look at Sam Darnold, the numbers that we saw were a whole different level for his entire season, his entire body of work. If we take 2 steps back and don't just focus on those final 2 games with the Minnesota Vikings, you can see that Darnold's overall year was fantastic. 35 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, a QB rating of over 102, completion percentage of 66.2%, over 4,300 yards. But we've seen the bad throughout his career. In Carolina, in New York, what will Seattle get? We shall see. And is he the long-term solution for Seattle as their starting quarterback? When you hear Mike Florio already talking about Jalen Milroe and how excited Seattle is, let's ask you. It's a 1-year contract situation. We'll go over the contract basically here in a moment. Is Sam Darnold going to be here beyond 2025? Is he the starting QB in 2026? You got 2 options here. Type Y for yes, in for no. Weigh in and tell us what you think. Got a great deal for Seahawks fans. Nike T-shirts are on sale now for just $15.99 while supplies last. Chatsports.com/SeahawksT. You guys already know Nike gear usually isn't cheap. And you're looking for T-shirts. You want to support your favorite team this time of year. It's getting hot outside. What better way to do so than by getting a Seahawks Nike T-shirt? $15.99. That's it, my friends, at chatsports.com/SeahawksT to get yours now. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. That's chatsports.com/SeahawksT to get yours today. When you look at Sam Darnold's contract, I think John Schneider and company did a really good job with how they structured this. Not only did they move on from Geno Smith and get a younger and better quarterback, they also got a cheaper contract and got a deal that works for them and allows 2025 to be an experiment of sorts with Sam Darnold, where it is a low-risk, high-reward circumstance. And also, when you take it another step further with Sam Darnold, if Sam struggles and plays like he did in those final 2 games of this season, and they decide that they want to do something different, whether that's Jalen Milroe or another quarterback, they can get out of it easy if they need to. Hopefully they don't have to get to that point. But if that circumstance comes up, it's a pretty flexible situation, pretty fluid for Seattle to do so. Here's what you need to know on Sam Darnold. His contract is a 3-year, $105 million deal with $55 million guaranteed. The contract is fully guaranteed if Darnold remains on the roster after this upcoming season's Super Bowl. If he is cut after 2025, the Seahawks will pay Darnold a total of $37.5 million. That's it. Not anywhere close to the full $105 million. He can earn an additional $15 million in incentives in the lifetime of the contract. And there's also other bonuses available based on playing time and playoff success for him to potentially earn even more money. I think when you look at this season for Sam Darnold, the goals are real simple. Play every game at a high level and leave no doubt. If Sam Darnold stays healthy and he plays really well, then this is an easy decision for the Seahawks to bring him back next year and to go forward with him as the quarterback of the future. If he struggles, if he gets hurt, and Jalen Milroe or somebody capitalizes on that opportunity, then maybe we have a different discussion. But at least right now, at this very moment, the ball's in Sam Darnold's court. Let's see what he can do with it. If you enjoyed today's show, you already know what to do. Hit that like button. We certainly would appreciate it. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time right here on Seattle Seahawks Today.